Hey guys, it's Beauty and the Sleeve, and I'm back with questions that I asked my provider during my pre-op visit. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna grab my sheet. The first question I asked was, how long will the surgery last? He said from 1 to 2 hours. I asked him, will I be getting a leak test during surgery or after? He said during surgery. I asked him how many incisions will I have. He said 4, possibly 5. How much time off from work will I need? He said around 2 weeks, depending on how I'm feeling and what I do. I'm going to take into consideration that I'm the only worker at night. So if I feel like I'm going to be straining myself, I don't feel well enough, I'm not going to go back as soon. I asked him, what can I take for constipation? Because it seems like a lot of people have problems with constipation afterwards. I want to get a jump start on it. So he said anything over the counter. He didn't give me a specific thing. I know some things people have tried are the Smooth Move tea. Besides, the basic over the counter stuff that make you go. Heard prune juice and stuff like that, apple juice. I asked him, can I have pictures of my stomach? He said no. Everyone else with their pictures, and I'm like, oh cool, I want my picture too. And he shut me down with a no. I asked him, what would he do for blood clot prevention? He said he would give me Lovenox before the surgery. The reason I asked him that is because I have an IUD. Sorry if it's TMI, but I have an IUD. So I was kind of concerned about blood clots. But he said, don't worry about it, leave it in. And on top of that, he told me to make sure that I use extra protection after, because as you lose weight, the IUD effectiveness may also decrease. So in case you guys are wondering that, because I know some people say they never had problems, because I've asked online on Facebook and stuff, and some people say they never had problems and stuff. But my surgeon, he must have seen something happen. He told me to use extra protection because the IUD will be less effective. So you guys know that now. Ask him if he's going to do a cardio or pulmonary workup, which pulmonary is lungs, cardio is heart, for those that don't know. He said no. The reason I asked him that is because sometimes I get chest pains. That's not anxiety. And ever since I caught the flu last year, I get shortness of breath in spurts, and I have to use an inhaler. So I was kind of concerned, but he said no because I'm young, I'm healthy, and in fact I am. The only thing that I have is sleep apnea, besides obesity, and that's great. I'll take his word for it. I asked him, do I have to get a catheter? The reason I asked that is because, first of all, it's uncomfortable, and second of all, you can get infections if they insert them and they are not using sterile technique properly. And I know that because I'm a nurse. So to avoid all that, I don't want a catheter. He said that I don't have to have one. If he checked for hernias during the surgery. And I asked him this because sometimes I feel something above my belly button, get a little pain, and I don't know if it's an umbilical hernia, but I've never been diagnosed with one. He said he only checked for a hiatal hernia, and even then, if I have one, he don't do it at the same time. He do it as a different operation. I asked him, do he use single or double staple lines when stapling the stomach back up? And he kind of acted like he didn't know what I was talking about. And thank goodness the resident was in there. So he was like, she mean when, you're stapling the stomach back up. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I use triple staples. I don't know what you're talking about. I use triple and I suture it back up. I was like, okay, good enough for me. I asked him, will I be given an abdominal binder by the hospital after surgery? He said, no, I don't need that. And I asked him, what size bougie does he use? He says that he used a 40 French. Now, I had done my research on bougies, or so I thought. I knew that 32 French was the smallest that was standardly used, and the largest was 42. And all I knew about it was some people said that, oh, my doctor made the pouch smaller so I could lose more weight. And the ones that got the larger ones, they were worried about, you know, not losing enough weight and stuff. But when I found out the size, I did more research. I digged into it even more. And I found out that the higher the size, the less complication. And even the minor ones like GERD or, acid reflux, they were more so associated with size 32s, the smaller ones. And the larger ones had less incidence of those problems. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that had the smaller ones that did fine. I'm not saying that, there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just saying, per the research that I found, the medical research, it actually showed that, the larger ones were associated with less complications. Now, I don't know about the weight loss thing. I think it showed not that much difference. And to be honest, if it comes between having a leak or having a stricture or all those other stuff and losing, less amount of weight, guess which one I'll choose? Because my life is more important than not losing enough weight. Okay? I also asked him how long will I be in the hospital. He said for one night. So he said, either one night or you go home the same day. I'm not going home the same day. I'm going to spend a night. And that's that. Another question that I did ask my surgeon was, when would I be in the clear? Like free of, complications. And he told me around the 4th month. So he said the first 3 months, you have the risk of, leaks. And he broke it down to me. He told me that there are 3 possible places where I can get a leak. And the most important place was at the top of your stomach, kind of where, I guess, the esophagus runs into your stomach. He said that's the number 1 place where you get a leak. And, he said that it's very, very crucial. He said sometimes people get them and it doesn't mean that the surgeon did something wrong or the patient did something wrong. He said sometimes it just happens. And, people can die from it. He warned me that. And so, that really scared me. That really shook me up. But, I don't think he said that to scare me. He just said that because it's the truth, And, but I'm not worried because God already told me I'm going to be all right. I may get a little nervous when it gets closer, but that's normal. But I have faith that God brought me to this to bring me through it. And, I still have things to do. With that being said, I'll be out the clear in about 4 months. So you guys, those are some questions that I did ask. There are some questions that I did not ask that I thought about after the fact. And that's for another video. See you.